One morning, Adaeze woke up feeling unusually tired and nauseous. Her heart sank as the days went by and the symptoms worsened. Her sister Obioma noticed the change in her and asked her what was wrong with her. Adaeze replied that she didn't know what was wrong with her as she had been feeling like that for days. Obioma suggested that they visit the herbalist, which they did. To their utmost surprise, Adaeze was pregnant. Obioma asked Adaeze why she would allow Chukwuma to get her pregnant, having known that it was an abomination in their village for a young girl to get pregnant outside wedlock. Adaeze's eyes widened in shock, saying that it was impossible as she and Chukwuma hasn't been intimate. She told Obioma that in fact, no man has ever touched her and she don't know how she got pregnant. Once upon a time, in a small village, there lived a girl named Adaeze. Adaeze lived with her parents and her younger sister Obioma. Adaeze was loved the most by her parents as she was a dutiful and a hardworking young girl. Adaeze had a lover named Chukwuma. She and Chukwuma had loved themselves for a very long time. Chukwuma was also ready to get married to Adaeze. Adaeze was so happy that she would finally get married to the love of her life. One fateful day, Chukwuma came with his kinsmen to Adaeze's compound to ask for her hand in marriage. Adaeze's mother welcomed them warmly and was happy that her daughter would be getting married. Adaeze's father, Mazi Okafor, came out and asked Chukwuma what he was doing in his house. Chukwuma replied that he has come to ask for Adaeze's hand in marriage. Mazi Okafor's laugh was harsh and bitter. He asked them to leave his house or he would do something that they will regret. They were chased out of the compound, humiliated. Adaeze watched the whole scene with tears streaming down her face. Obioma, her sister, tried consoling her, but her pain was unbearable. Obioma convinced her not to worry, that everything would be fine. Despite the disapproval of her father, Adaeze and Chukwuma continued to meet in secret, their love growing stronger with each stolen moment. They dreamed of a future together, far away from Mazi Okafor's oppressive presence. One evening, Adaeze and Chukwuma met with each other at their usual spots. Adaeze confessed to Chukwuma about how much she loves him and would want to spend the rest of her life with him against her father's wishes. Mazi Okafor wants his favorite daughter, Adaeze, to get married to a rich and influential man. Chukwuma was just a mere farmer who also worked in people's farms to earn money, and he was just not a good match for his daughter. Adaeze pleaded with Chukwuma to get her pregnant, and therefore her father would be helpless and give out her hand in marriage. But Chukwuma refused, saying that it was an abomination for a young girl to get pregnant before marriage. But Adaeze was adamant. She wanted to do what's necessary for her to get married to the love of her life and damned the consequence. But fate had other plans. One morning, as Adaeze, together with her sister Obioma and her mother, went to the farm, as they were farming, a snake bit her mother. She was taken home. The healers tried everything they could to heal her, but she passed away. Adaeze and Obioma was uncontrollable. They wept for their mother's death, but as time goes on, they moved on with their life. Mazi Okafor accepted the hard truth with a heavy pain in his heart. One morning, Adaeze woke up feeling unusually tired and nauseous. Her heart sank as the days went by and the symptoms worsened. Her sister Obioma noticed the change in her and asked what was wrong with her. Adaeze replied that she didn't know what was wrong with her as she had been feeling like that for days. Obioma suggested that they visit the herbalist, which they did. To their utmost surprise, Adaeze was pregnant. Obioma asked Adaeze why she would allow Chukwuma to get her pregnant, having known that it was an abomination in their village for a young girl to get pregnant outside wedlock. Adaeze's eyes widened in shock, saying that it was impossible as she and Chukwuma hasn't been intimate. She told Obioma that in fact no man has ever touched her and she don't know how she got pregnant. Adaeze cried bitterly as she didn't understand anything and didn't know what to do either. Adaeze confided in her friend Nneka. She narrated her ordeal to Nneka, who consoled her. She asked Adaeze who got her pregnant, but Adaeze replied that she didn't know who got her pregnant. Nneka was surprised but consoled her friend. Nneka went to meet Chukwuma. She told Chukwuma that Adaeze had been sleeping around and now she is pregnant and didn't even know who got her pregnant. Chukwuma was furious. Adaeze came to meet Chukwuma and narrated what had happened to her. But instead, Chukwuma accused her of sleeping around and tried pinning her pregnancy on him. He told her that Nneka was right. Adaeze was surprised. She couldn't believe her ears. She couldn't believe that her friend Nneka would turn on her. Nneka was secretly in love with Chukwuma. When opportunity presented itself, she took it without thinking twice. Adaeze couldn't control her tears. Her sister Obioma tried consoling her, but she was too heartbroken. When her father found out about her pregnancy, he was very furious. He stormed over to Chukwuma's house. He threatened Chukwuma to come and marry his daughter or he will make his life a living hell. Chukwuma told Mazi Okafor that he had nothing to do with Adaeze's pregnancy and he won't be getting married to her again. The rifts between Adaeze and Chukwuma grew wider and Adaeze felt her world crumbling. Adding to her misery, her best friend Nneka began spending more time with Chukwuma, whispering lies and sowing discord. Nneka had always envied Adaeze and saw this as her chance to steal Chukwuma away. Eventually, Nneka's plan succeeded. Chukwuma, convinced by her deceit, married Nneka. To make matters worse, Nneka was also pregnant and she never missed an opportunity to taunt Adaeze about her supposed infidelity and ruined reputation. Adaeze kept visiting Chukwuma to plead for his forgiveness and accept her back, but Chukwuma was adamant. He didn't want to hear what Adaeze had to say. He threw her away from his house. Months passed and Adaeze's pregnancy became more bothersome. Unlike a normal pregnancy, it dragged on for almost a year. Adaeze's pain was unbearable. She and her sister Obioma had visited many healers and wise women, but no one seemed to know the reason behind her predicament. Adaeze was begging for death to come her way, but it ran as fast as it could. She tried committing suicide many times, but her sister Obioma was always there to stop her. Mazi Okafor was really worried for his daughter, but he had tried all he could but to no avail. One day, as Adaeze was seated in front of their compound, thinking about her life, her sister Obioma was also seated outside. A native doctor came into their compound. They asked who he was, but he didn't reply. Mazi Okafor came out and saw the native doctor. He asked him who he was and what he was doing in his compound. The native doctor replied that the gods have heard her daughter's cry and would reveal what was hidden and set her free. The native doctor revealed that one evening, Adaeze was washing clothes in front of their compound. Mazi Okafor came outside and stared at her. He said to himself that she looked so much like her mother when she was still young, and he loved her so much. He admired her and left. One fateful day, Obioma went to the stream, and Adaeze was the only one at home. She had just finished cooking and was eating in front of their hut when her father came out and sent her to get something for him. When she left, he added sleeping pills to her food and left. Adaeze came back and continued with her food. After eating, she went inside and started feeling sleepy. Her father came in and took advantage of her. Obioma froze in shock. She couldn't believe that her own father could do this to his own daughter. She cursed her father, who just stood there dumbfounded. Obioma's anger knew no bounds. "You are a monster," she spat. "You don't deserve to be a father." The truth was a heavy burden crushing Adaeze's spirit. She felt violated and betrayed by the man who was supposed to protect her. Adaeze's words spun. The horror of his confession hit her like a tidal wave. Mazi Okafor's shoulders sagged under the weight of his actions. He collapsed and died. The native doctor commanded that no one should touch his body. Immediately, Adaeze went into labor, but she gave birth to a dead child. Adaeze slipped into depression. Obioma couldn't believe that after all Adaeze's sufferings, she still gave birth to a dead child. Chukwuma, together with his wife, Nega, came to seek Adaeze's forgiveness as they heard what had happened. But Obioma refused them from seeing Adaeze. After much persuasion, they left. Adaeze drank poison and died. Despite the father's efforts to hide his wrongdoings, they eventually came to light. The moral lesson to be learned in this story is that deceit and evil actions cannot remain hidden forever, no matter how much you try to conceal it. Please support our channel by subscribing, comment and like. It helps in growing our channel, and stay tuned to our next story. Bye.